Hello guys, so today we are going to be talking about PowerShell Empire, which is basically an exploitation tool that can be used on operating systems like Windows and Linux. So before we get into the video, I just want to say this video is for educational and ethical hacking purposes only. All techniques demonstrated were performed in a controlled lab environment. Unauthorized access to computer systems or networks is illegal. So I do not condone or support any illicit activity. Always act responsibly and stay within the law. So before we start, you first of all need to install PowerShell Empire, and you can do that by typing sudo apt install PowerShell Empire. I already have it on my system, so I'm not going to click enter. After installing it, the next thing you do to power it on, you say sudo PowerShell Empire then server. So this will start the PowerShell server. So you click enter, then enter your Kali Linux password. Okay, that's wrong. All right, it should work now. So as you can see, the server is starting up. Now you'll be able to access the Starkiller GUI, which is where we are going to be, creating the exploits and the payloads. So you open your Firefox, then you navigate to address. So this is my uh, the IP for my, you know, for my Kali Linux. You can check your IP by doing IPA. So this will show you the different IP that your Kali Linux has. So I currently have three network adapters, so that's why you can see three IP addresses here. But this is my bridge adapter IP. That's what I'll be using because I'm going to be testing the payloads that will generate. I'll be testing it on my host system, which is also connected to my, you know, bridge network, which is my Wi-Fi router. So we can just copy this. You can actually use any of those IP because it's serving on a 0.0.0, IP. So you can access it from any IP on your system, provided the port is correct. So you can just click this. As you can see, it's serving on port 1337. If you check it, you see that, sorry, it's the other terminal. See that it's serving on port 1337. So let's go back and we'll click on this. So as you can see, I'm logged in. But this is already because I saved the password and the username. Normally, to access this page, you need to log in, and to log in, the username is Empire Admin. Let me just type it in, or I can try to log out. Let me see if I can log out. I don't think so. Uh, let's try to log in. Let's see. I think it will. I don't think it will work because I saved the password already. So let me just show you what the password is, and you can type it in. The username is Empire Admin, while the password is password 123. These are the defaults. So when you enter these credentials in, you'll be able to access this page that I'm on right now. So the first place we'll go to listeners. So we are going to create a listener that, we listen for incoming connections from the payload that we'll create. So first we create our listener and the type will be HTTP. um, this is the default IP that it generated for us. This is the IP of my NAT network adapter. I don't want to connect with my NAT. I want to connect with my, you know, bridge adapter. So I'll just enter my bridge adapter IP. Sorry. Then the ports, I'm going to be using Apache server later to copy the payload from my Kali Linux to my Windows. So I'm not going to use port 80 because Apache server uses port 80. So we are going to use port 443, and the bind address, we'll leave it at this default because we want it to be able to access it on any of the IP. Then you just leave every other thing as the default, then you submit. So this is going to be our listener. You can just can name it Windows. You can name it whatever you like. But since I'm going to be trying to attack a Windows system, so we'll just rename it as Windows. Then we submit. After submitting, you can see that the listener is now enabled. So the next thing we'll do, we'll generate our payload, which is the stager. So with this stager, you can actually it's like a command dropper. It drops other modules and exploits into the Windows remotely. So this particular stager we are about to create, it does not contain the total, you know, commands and and attacks that you can perform on the Windows. It's just the stager. So I'm going to show you. So we are going to select new stager. The type will be, since we are attacking a Windows, let's just use the Windows launcher bat. So this will be performed in PowerShell. The language, will leave it at PowerShell. You can select it C Sharp, Iron Python, or Go. So let's leave it as the default language, Python, PowerShell. Then the name, you can just name it Windows Updater. You can name it anything you like. If you leave it blank, it will automatically generate a name for you. So we name it Windows Updater. Then the output file, let's rename it. Let's rename it. Let's just call it Windows Launcher. All right. We are going to obfuscate it, or let's do this. Let's leave it like this. Let's not obfuscate it because obfuscation basically just tries to hide the code. So after we've generated this payload, we are going to do a little bit of malware analysis so that we can see what is actually um, showing in our code. You understand? So you can see what is going on in our code. So let's generate it. You click submit. Okay, it says and the required option missing. Oh, the listener. Sorry, we select the listener as the listener we created earlier, which is Windows. So by selecting this listener, it's going to inject that URL, that's the IP address we placed inside the listener. It's going to place it into our payload. So we click submit, and that's it. We've created our stager. So let's go back into it. We are going to download it. We are going to download it. Then we'll send it into our Windows with Apache server. So I don't know if we don't obfuscate it. Um, Let me turn on my virus and threat protection. You see that it will catch it that it's a virus if we don't do obfuscation. So is this turned on? Okay, it's turned on right now. So let's start our Apache server and try to send the malware into our Windows host system. So to start Apache server, you say sudo system ctl start Apache 2. Then you enter your password to clear. You can do sudo system ctl status Apache 2 to check if it's running. So if you see the status as active running, you know that it's working. So you press Ctrl C, clear your terminal. So the next thing we are going to do, we are going to move this file that we just created, which is this Windows launcher.bat. We are going to move it into a page where the Apache server can, save the file so I can be able to download it on our Windows host system. So we are going to say sudo, we are going to go into our downloads. We change directory into downloads list. As you can see, this is the malware that we created. So the next thing we'll do, we'll say sudo cp windows updater, okay, windows launcher dot bat. Then you send it into the directory where the Apache server can save it. So here will be HTML. So we just did that. Next thing we're going to do, let me check if my VPN is running. If it's running, I will not be able to access it. So it's not running. So now we can visit the Apache server on 192.168.1.125. So this is the Apache server. To get the file that we just created, we are going to say Windows launcher.bat. So it's downloading. As you can see, it says insecure, but we are going to click keep. Download insecure file. I think Windows Defender is going to catch it if it actually downloads. Where is the download location? Let me check. I can go to settings. Oh, okay, let me go to downloads. Then okay, it's not actually downloading. I don't know why. I might have to use a different browser. I might just have to use a different browser. Okay, let's pause it. Let's try a different browser. All right. I'm using um I'm using the Edge browser, Microsoft Edge browser right now. So let's try to access it again. Uh, you can access it at Windows launcher dot bat. Just going to try to download it. As you can see, it says couldn't download, virus detected. So this is because we did not obfuscate it. Remember, so we are not able to download it because Windows has blocked it because there's a virus inside. So let's go back and try to obfuscate it, then generate um, a second file. Let's see if it will work. So we'll go back and here we'll say obfuscate. So this is we try to scatter the code literally. Let's do a little bit of malware analysis and see. Let's see what that code is. Don't worry. Okay, when we are done with the video, when we've been able to exploit the Windows machine, then I'll show you the code that is inside this bat file that we created. So both the normal code and the obfuscated code. So let's obfuscate it and submit. So this will update it, then we'll download it. Um, we are going to give it a second name. I'm not going to use this same name because we already have a file called Windows Launcher. So we'll say Windows Launcher 2. So let's submit again. Then we'll download it. As you can see, the size is quite different. This is 1.6 kilobytes. This is just 534 bytes. This is because this is obfuscated, right? So let's go to agents. So we are going to run the file. We are going to download it in our host machine. Then we run it. If it works, the agent will appear in this section of the page. So let's go back and try to Let's try to run it. 192.168.1.125 slash Windows. Okay, we've not actually moved it. My fault. So let's move it. Let's move it. We need to move it to the page where the Apache server can actually save the file. So let's do that. Now we can access it in our host machine. So we say Windows Launcher 2.bat. So this should download it. As you can see, it has downloaded. This is because the file is obfuscated. This says virus detected, but this does not. This is because we've obfuscated the code. So let's run it and see if it will actually. So the reason it's showing this is because the publisher cannot be verified. You understand? So most of these batch files, they have a registered publisher. So because this is a file we created, so that's why it's saying unknown publisher. So we are going to run it. Let's uncheck this in case we want to do it again. So let's run it. So this is a self-deleting. As you can see, it says the batch file not cannot be found. So this is a self-deleting file. I don't actually think it's run. I don't think it's run. Why? Because I think even when we obfuscated it, the Windows the Windows Defender blocked the file from running. You understand? Even when we obfuscated it. So what we'll do, we're going to turn off this virus and threat protection. Let's turn it off. I assume it's someone that does not use Windows Defender. So that file we actually sent, it has been deleted. So if you check, you see it has been deleted because the file is a self-deleting file. Immediately you run it, it runs the code in your PowerShell, then it deletes itself. So maybe a malware analysis cannot be performed on the file to actually get the origin of the URL that was injected in the code. So what we'll do, we'll download it again. So say Windows Launcher. Now that um, we've turned off Windows Defender. So let's download it again. Then we run the file. Let's see. Is it running? So let's go back. If it works, the agent is supposed to appear here. So let's give it a minute. The terminal is still open. If it all went well, the agent will appear. As you can see, this is my Windows host machine. It just appeared, which means it has connected to my Kali Linux through the batch file we run. So someone that does not have any idea about computers may not understand what is showing in this terminal. This terminal is not even supposed to show. I don't know why it does that. Uh, but I think we can cancel it. So let's go into the agents. So what we'll do, we'll try to run a command in the terminal. Let's run who am I. Let's see. Let's see what it will return. It's taking a while. This terminal is not very efficient. Let me check if the agent is no longer active. Um, this is because I canceled that terminal. The terminal is supposed to be hidden. I don't know why it's not. So let's kill this agent. I'm going to run that file again. Uh, Windows launcher 2.bat. So we are going to run this again. This time we are not going to cancel that terminal. So we are not going to cancel the terminal. It's supposed to hide. I don't know why it's not hiding. Um, so let's check again if it's going to connect back to our Kali Linux. So as you can see, the auto refresh agent is on. So that's why it's refreshing every second to check if a new agent has connected. So let's wait a minute. And okay, it has appeared. This is our Windows machine. So let's try that shell command again. Let's say who am I to see if you actually have access to the shell. As you can see, it's returned Richie slash HP. So that's my Windows. This just proves that we now have access to the Windows terminal. So let's go back to form. We also have access to the files. It's supposed to show all the drive that is currently on my. As you can see, I currently have 3 drives on my system, and these are the drives. I'm obviously not going to open this because I don't want you to have access to my files. Um, So the next thing we are going to do, we are going to execute a module. So there are different modules here that you can try. So we are going to go to the PowerShell modules under it. We are going to go to throw exploit. So let's just try this throw exploit message. So what this is going to do is going to pop up a message on the victim machine, which is my Windows host, and it's going to tell my Windows host that you've been hacked. So the message you are going to type in here, we are going to say you've been hacked, you've been hacked by cyber vendetta, right? So we are going to submit it, and it's going to queue up this. As you can see, it just appeared. You've been hacked, and it's running on my host machine. So there are a lot of different modules that you can actually execute here. There's a module that you can use to take a screenshot. Let me find it. It's somewhere around here. You can use it to screenshot the victim machine. So you can actually browse and check what these modules are for. What I can't actually go through everything. I was trying to make this video as short as possible, but we are already 23 minutes in. So what we'll do, let's check for the screenshots. Okay, we can just say screenshots, screenshots. So this is it, and we are going to submit. So this should return a screenshot of Windows machine. Obviously, it's going to screenshot our Linux too because we are running the two machines together. I'm running the Linux virtual machine on my Windows. So if you go to tasks, you can see all the commands that we run. We've run who am I? We've run the command to invoke a message in Windows. So this is the get screenshot command, and you can actually download the screenshot here. As you can see, it already took the screenshot. We'll download it and we'll open it. So this is the screenshot. As you can see, this is the screenshot of our Windows. That's the victim machine. The reason you are seeing it is because the Linux machine is obviously running on top the host machine, which is my Windows, which is also the victim. So that's it. There are lots of different commands that you can try out. You can test it out for yourself. There are lots of modules here, but be careful of the modules you run because some might be harmful to your system. I've not actually tested everything. So what you can do, you just check each modules, or you read the documentation of what each module do, or what each module does. So the next thing we are going to do, now that we've gained access, we are going to kill the agent because we don't need it anymore. So let's kill this agent, and I'm going to show you how you can actually do a little bit of malware analysis on this um on the malwares that we created, the two malwares that we created. So we can cancel this. Let's close the PowerShell Empire. Can do that with Control C. So the next thing we're going to do, we are going to list. As you can see, this is the screenshot that we took, and this is the first normal malware that we created. This is the second, which is the obfuscated version. So what we'll do now, we say mousepad. So we want to look at the code that the PowerShell Empire generated for us, dot bat. So this will open the first normal file that is not obfuscated. So as you can see, this is the code that actually runs the malware. This is the malware completely. This part of the uh, malware actually tells the PowerShell to delete after 1 second. It it deletes itself. You understand? So that you will not be able to find the file on your system, even though the code is already running in your PowerShell terminal. So that's it. If you notice, you see that this part of the code is actually a bunch of jargons. So this is because the code was converted to base 4. This is sort of like an obfuscation, but not really, because base 4 is very easy to convert back to the original code, right? It's very easy to convert back to the original code. So we can just copy this, and we'll go to CyberChef. There's a website called CyberChef. So this is it. Let me just delete everything here. We are going to create our recipe from the start. So the first thing we are going to do, we need to convert from base 4, right? Convert from base 4. Then we are going to decode the text. Decode the text. So PowerShell usually runs on this UTF-16LE 1200. So you select that. Um, so we can let's just paste the command that we copied. We paste it in, and it's going to run for a while. Let's wait a minute. So as you can see, this is the code that we copied. This is the base 4 code, and you can see that it's very legible. You can read it, and we already see the link. This is the link that is embedded in the malware. And if a malware analysis expert actually took this malware and analyzed it, we'll be able to trace this URL back to the original, you know, that's the attacker that created the malware. And like this, the way it is, your Windows static analyzer, that's the Windows Defender, can just convert this from base 64 and see that, okay, this is what this code is actually trying to do, which is it's giving access to the computer from a remote link, which is this URL that we created. But what we are going to do now, I'm going to delete this, and we are going to try to copy um, the code from the other obfuscated command, right? The other obfuscated malware rather. So let's say mousepad Windows launcher 2.bat, right? So this will open it. As you can see, the base 64 code is significantly larger. Why? Because the code is obfuscated. So let's copy all these jargons. Then we paste it into our CyberChef recipe. As you can see, it's very scattered. You can probably read it, but your Windows Defender cannot read all of these jargons and rearrange it. So this is a sort of like a replacement um, cipher. So this, let's say this is the first um, character, this is the second character, and this is the third. So what you do to actually get this to work, to get the right statement, right? So this will be the zero, this will be one, right? And this will be two because it starts from zero, one, two, three, right? Just like that. So this will be zero, this will be one, this will be two. And the code starts from zero. So the first item will be zero, which is SE, right? So we can just open notes. Let's open our notepad. Let's open our notepad and you see. So the first one is SE, while this second one is actually two, which is the last one, which is T, right? T dash. Then we go back to the second one, which is one, because it starts from zero, one, two. This is zero, one, two. So the first one is zero, one, then two, right? So it will be set item. So this is the first character. This is the first statement. And your Windows Defender obviously can't do this manually or automatically without actually understanding that, okay, this is how the obfuscation works. You understand? So that's just how the obfuscation tries to hide the code. So I created a Python program that we can automatically use instead of manually trying to check each one by ourselves. We can just use this Python program that I created. So we are going to open Visual Studio Code. So this is the obfuscation code, right? It will obfuscate the those code that we saw there. So to run this, we are going to cd into the location of the script. I like running my Python scripts from the terminal, probably because I'm already used to typing in the terminal from using Kali Linux. Ah, sorry, let's clear it. Then we say Python the obfuscate py. So this is already running. As you can see, it says enter the code. So the code that is actually asking us to enter is this code, which is here. So we'll copy it in. Then the next thing is the payload. So which is this SE, then item dot. Let's copy it. You see it will arrange it for us properly. Okay. So this is the cleaned up version, which is set dash item. So we can run it again for um every other part of the obfuscated code. So let's try the next one. 102. We'll copy it, paste it in. Then so I'm just showing you this to tell you how it actually works. But you can easily just send this code to your AI and ask it to give you um, the obfuscated. So as you can see, this is it variable. So that's how you can actually deobfuscate it and check the full command and see how everything works. So as you can see, some part of this code is actually capital letter, some part is small letter. So we can actually delete this and we'll add another recipe into it, which is to lowercase, right? So this will convert everything to lowercase. So let's paste that code back in. I think this is it, right? Okay, this is it. You can see everything is now in small letters. So you can actually just copy everything into your AI and ask it to, you know, convert everything back to the obfuscated code. So you don't have to manually do it. Even with the Python script I created, it's still slow. You understand? So as you can see, there are a few if you actually look at it, you can actually find um the URL by yourself to actually trace the origin of the script, right? But I don't think you'll be able to do that because the script is a self-deleting batch file. So once it runs, it deletes itself. So you will not be able to analyze any code, right? Because there's no malware to actually analyze. So that's it, guys. That's all for PowerShell Empire. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit long. I try to make my videos shorter, but I honestly want to be able to explain my videos in a way that even beginners can actually understand what I'm talking about. So thank you for watching. Like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want more content like this. See you guys. One more thing, guys. I think I actually made a mistake in the video. I kept saying base 4 instead of base 64. So don't mind me. There are a lot of other mistakes in the video. Just pardon me. So it's base 64, not base 4, right? And also there was a place where I said you have hacked Cyber Vendetta instead of you have been hacked by Cyber Vendetta. So that was also a mistake. Please pardon that mistake. Thank you guys.